Hey everybody, what's up? I'm back. I was away for a couple of days traveling. I had to go check out some colleges for my daughter. So now I'm back. Hey, did anything happen in the last couple of days? Well, yeah. We had a big sell-off yesterday in the stock market. Dow was down 600 points. NASDAQ lost 4%. Had a big bounce back today. Let me make a few comments on the stock market. First of all, I don't see anything really in the fiscal picture, with the exception of maybe one thing that I'm following right now. But fiscal flows are strong, and the rate situation is not something that I am concerned about. The retail sector is doing well. What else? China, as much as there is a lot of concern about China, it's still growing at 6.5% GDP. Inflation is right about where the Fed wants it. And as you know, I do not consider rate hikes to be negative for the economy. It is a net fiscal expansion. It adds to income. So I don't see anything in the picture that has changed. Now, there is one element that I am keeping my eye on, and that is employment and withholding tax deposits coming into the Treasury. That is down year over year, and that gap is slowly widening. However, that could be due to the tax cuts. All right, the tax cuts, it would make sense that we would see less employment and withholding tax deposits as a result of the tax cuts. Overall, total federal tax deposits, if you want to use that as a broader barometer of the economy's strength, that is up year over year. Okay? Not by a lot. I mean, that could also be due to those customs, those tariffs. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm also keeping an eye on initial claims for weekly unemployment insurance. That looks like it might have bottomed out in September. So maybe little tiny hints here of some labor market weakness developing. I don't know. I think we need more data. As you know, several weeks ago, I called the top in oil when it was up around 76 bucks, and everybody was saying it was going to go to 100. You could go back and check out the video that I made at the time. Said the top in oil is in. Go back, check my videos on this channel. And now I think we are at a bottom. As a matter of fact, OPEC came out today saying they were going to cut output, and that comes a day after the Saudis said they were going to flood the market with oil to bring the price down. Maybe not so coincidentally, the Saudi reversal, their flip-flop on that production promise, came a day after Trump said he was going to punish, to whatever degree of punishment that is. He said he was going to punish Saudi Arabia by withholding or canceling 13 visas, I think, of people who are in the Saudi diplomatic corps. All right, that's that's the punishment they get for chopping up that Washington Post journalist alive. That's the punishment they get. And when Russia was accused without any evidence of poisoning those Skripal people in the UK, there were heavy sanctions applied. So you see the double standard here. It's total hypocrisy. But maybe not such a coincidence that the day after that punishment was meted out, the Saudis turned right around and said, we're going to cut output now. So I think the bottom is in for oil. And don't forget, it's coming at a time when we got the Iran sanctions are going to hit starting in November. And some estimates are saying that could take as much as 1 million barrels a day off the market. So That's significant. We could have some real crazy action in the oil market if those Iran sanctions end up to be as severe as some people are saying. All right. Dollar index for all you dollar bulls. Yeah, you're celebrating today. It's up, got up around, what, 96.70 or something like that. 96.98 was the high in August. It might take that out marginally. I don't know. What else? Let me get back to this thing about what I made on my last video about it's about time, not timing. For those of you who keep operating under the fallacy that you have to be exactly perfect in your timing every single time or else you are never going to be successful, you're living in a fantasy world, and basically you are chasing, again, the system fairy, believing that there is some timing system, some way to time accurately when moves, precisely when moves are about to begin. So you become a slave to this this quest to find the perfect timing method. You become a slave to that. And I hate to bust your bubble, but there is nothing out there of perfection that you can really rely on with total accuracy. All these things, charts, lines, patterns, all these things, there's tea leaf reading. I mean, we've seen so many times where the patterns don't work out as they should, or the lines break and then the thing goes right back. Okay? If there was some perfect timing system, everybody would be using it. But you have become a slave to this quest to find the perfect timing system, and you have deluded yourself into believing whatever it is that you're using is some perfect method of timing, and you are completely married to the idea that you must have perfect timing in order to be successful. Now, I have thrown that concept completely away. I have long ago liberated myself from the fallacy, the charade of believing that my success lies in the ability to absolutely, perfectly time every single move. I'm not a slave to a system. I understand time and how to use it to my benefit. I understand proper management of my capital. I have mental game. I have patience, of which Warren Buffett said the markets are mechanisms for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. I have taken that completely out of my equation. It is not a factor for me. Time is a factor. Timing is not a factor, because I don't walk around, and delude myself into thinking that there is some perfect mechanism out there to enable me to make money all the time. There is not. So instead, I understand the bigger concept of time, that things move around. And in that process of moving around, if you manage your funds correctly, you always have an opportunity to make a profit, and you always have an opportunity to get out, break even, worst case. Very simple. Very simple. And I love it, quite honestly, I love it when I hear people talk about, well, you got to look at the charts and you got to have the perfect timing, because that is the vast majority of traders, and that totally explains to you why 95 or 98% of the people lose money when they trade, because they believe in these false ideas. And I've said it many times. I have it on all my video courses, that the vast majority of the so-called information, instruction, education, if you want to call it that is put out with respect to trading is all wrong. It's all wrong, because all of it inherently, within those concepts, there's an assumption that you can predict the future based on, whatever device or technique you are using. You can't. You can't. Otherwise, we'd all be doing it. But when you understand time, it's not about predicting the future. It's knowing that over a period, things move around. So you fall into a probability range where you have a very, very high probability every single time of getting a profit or getting out with a break even. And correct management of your capital never puts you into trouble. So I don't care when people come on and they say, "Oh no, I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. My timing sucks." I don't use timing. And by the way, I have many, many, many trades, millions of trades, millions of them, where the timing was absolutely perfect. But I don't, it's not something I talk about because it's not something that's important. Time is important. Timing is not important. Time is important. Timing is not important. That's all I got to say about that. All right, everybody. If you want to get a copy of my MMT Trader, go to pitbulleconomics.com and sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. Don't forget Zombie Trading. Zombie Trading is my daily Forex signal service. It looks at the behavior of zombies, which we know we can predict. It's very predictable. And we get in before the zombies, we take their money, and we get out before they die. So that's it. Let's see what happens in the stock market. If you want to follow along with what's happening with those tax deposits, because that's a leading indicator of the economy, then go sign up for my free trial at pitbulleconomics.com. Bye.